Hi and welcome to the first episode of Real Estate in Real Life by White & Co. Today I'm joined with Rhianne Smith, one of our most senior agents, and I'm really excited to show you a bit of background between her real life and her real estate. So let's get cracking on. So Rhianne, tell me a bit more about you. What was home life like? What was it like growing up in the UK?
So I am originally from Edinburgh in Scotland. Life in the UK was quite good for me. My mum liked to travel, so often I was travelling. I got to see a lot of different places. And I also went to university in Edinburgh and done business management.
Amazing, fantastic. So like you said, life in Edinburgh was quite good. So what made you look at moving away to Dubai, and was real estate your first choice?
So obviously, as you know, you and I worked together in a real estate company back in Scotland. I think that was maybe 10...
Must have been about 10 years ago, yeah.
10, 11 years ago. So Callum and I were working together, and I heard of somebody doing well in real estate in Dubai. And obviously, you know, I spoke to you about it, and you got hot feet and moved to Dubai and thought you could do it, and look at you now. So it was about a year after I then followed suit and joined you in Dubai, and I've never looked back.
Amazing. And there was no other option other than real estate, or did you look at other options?
So when I was at university, as I mentioned, I was working part-time in a real estate company. So when I looked to move out to Dubai, there was just kind of no really any other options. It was just always real estate.
Fantastic. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So people see TV programs like $1 Million Listing or Selling Sunset, and it makes it all look a lot of glitz and glam. But, you know, what does the industry really look like for someone who's been in it for so long and also done very well in it?
So, Selling Sunset wise, no, I think it's a bit unrealistic. Obviously, I'm in beautiful villas. As you know, I only do Palm villas. So some of the properties that I'm in are amazing, which is, you could say, similar to Selling Sunset, but that's like 15% of the time. There is lots of dramas in real estate. It's a bit like the Wild West. It's very cutthroat. People are screwing each other over. So drama-wise, Selling Sunset, yeah, there's a lot of dramas. But I think what it doesn't show in these sort of programs is like the mental pressure. So all in all, I would say these TV programs make it look very glamorous and very glitzy, but you kind of don't see the blood, sweat and tears behind what goes on.
Yeah, understood. So you touched on the mental pressures of working in real estate, and you know, sometimes you just want to lock yourself at home and cry because it is a very tough job to do. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
What other challenges do you find, or what is the main challenge you find in the industry?
So I would say the main challenge with our job, obviously we don't get a salary. So we only get paid when a deal gets done. So from that, obviously it's very high pressure, but with high pressure and with only getting paid when a deal gets done, I'm literally working in the Wild West. There's constantly people screwing each other over, people trying to get money, people trying to cut people out of deals. So what I find is it makes me really hard to kind of trust people, and there's a select few people that you can trust. I also think on the back of that, it kind of mirrors into real life as well, and it makes you very like cutthroat and very kind of resilient.
Yeah, you don't want to waste time on anything anymore.
Exactly.
Completely get you. Well, the good thing is, because you've been doing it so long, you've now got your network, and you've got those agents that you trust, and it allows you to make the life-changing money you make.
Thank goodness. At the start, it's such a slog. It's so long, but it's worth it.
So you've said the job is high pressure, it's performance-based, it's commission only, but you could find many different jobs in Dubai. You've got a business degree, you're a very intelligent young woman, but obviously this job is life-changing. Or do you find it life-changing?
Yeah, it's definitely life-changing. And I am grateful every single day for how this job has changed my life. The opportunities that it's gave me, the life it's gave me, the things I can do, I wouldn't have been able to do that before, just categorically no. Apart from the money side of things, I also love what I do. Like, who doesn't like going to see a nice villa? And on the back of these beautiful properties, you also kind of get to meet some very interesting people. So I've met a lot of interesting people, some nice, some not so nice. But it's just every day is different, and meeting all these different people, like sometimes I kind of just sit back and I'm like, wow, like, is this my life? Like, is this going on? So yeah, just love it.
So you're amazing at what you do, but where do you see yourself in a year? And the good thing about this being recorded is that a year from now I can look back and see if you've accomplished that. So where do you see yourself in a year?
So I feel like with me, I've got very comfortable in what I do. I'm just kind of quite consistent with the money that I make, and I live a nice life. I'm in a comfortable position. I feel like, though, as much as I would like it to be, comfortable isn't good, and I need to kind of push myself out my comfort zone. And I think next year I should just solely be focusing on sales. The thing is, with me, and what's hard in the position that I'm in, is a lot of my fees are the same as a sales fee.
Yeah.
So it's just this kind of catch-22. However, you do continuously need to be moving forward. So yeah, I need to just focus on sales only.
Yeah. And for anyone that doesn't know, Rhianne is one of the top transacting leasing agents in the Palm Jumeirah Villas, making the same money as a lot of sales brokers in Dubai. So it's something that's very exciting about having her here. It's really a testament to how hard she works. So that leads me on to my next question, which is, what's your why? What keeps you going when times are tough, when it's, you've had a bad month or whatever happens in this industry? What's your why?
My why is I want to have a good life with lots of experiences. I want to be able to do things that I want to do. You've only got one life. So I would say my why would be freedom. I want the freedom to do what I want to do when I want to do it.
Okay. And do you think that the money you're going to make and are making will allow you to get that freedom quicker?
Yep, definitely. No questions.
So obviously, for my selfish reasons, I want people to see these videos and want to move to Dubai, want to work in real estate. What advice would you give people who are looking for the right company to work for?
Looking for the right company, I would say the most important thing about our job is the marketing, because the marketing then leads to lead generation, and in our job, leads equal money, and that's essentially what we're working for. We're not working for anything else. So I think the most important thing is you need to check how many leads they're getting for different areas. And then I also think what new agents should do is reach out to some brokers that already work there and get an honest opinion. Maybe message 10, you might get one response. But I think getting it from like a first-hand perspective, you'll be able to kind of get an honest opinion.
Definitely, absolutely. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Also, I would see about what their experienced brokers are, how long they've been there for, how many have been there from the start, because I think a lot of companies, they've got like a high staff turnover. Obviously, there's an issue in the company. As the culture in companies is very important. Okay,
so you're a young and hungry broker who started in the industry.
Yeah.
What advice would you, as one of the top performing agents in the market, give to this new and young, hungry broker?
So at the start, you have to work. And it's a roller coaster, a mental roller coaster. It's hard work. I remember when I first started, remember me and you in the car, and I was crying over like it was a 1-bedroom shoreline for a couple thousand dirhams, crying my eyes out because it fell through. But you just need to keep pushing through, and you'll come out the other side and be very grateful. But at the start, it's really challenging. It's hard work.
Okay. Fantastic. So your advice would be to work as hard as possible?
Work as hard as possible. You need to put the work in. You need to be working evenings. You need to be working weekends. You need to be working harder than the person next to you. And then obviously you continuously have to be working hard, but the longer that you're in the industry, you've got your contact, you've got your network, it gets easier.
Definitely. 100% agree there. So obviously, over the past 9-10 years, I've seen hundreds, maybe thousands of people come and go, and it's no secret that it's not for everyone. Do you agree that this industry is not for everyone, or do you think anyone can make it work?
Oh, definitely it's not for everyone. I feel like in order to be a successful agent in Dubai, you are a certain type of person. Honestly, I would say 15 to 20% of people make it and are successful. The rest don't. I think with our industry, it's so fast paced. So if you kind of take your foot off the gas, especially at the start, you get left behind. Our job, it's not a hard job, it's hard work.
Yeah, completely agree with you there. So moving on from the new broker that comes into the market, what does it take to be a top 1% broker in Dubai real estate?
I think to be a top 1% broker, you need to kind of be set apart from the rest of the agents. And I think that means you need to be personable. Your clients aren't your clients. Your clients need to become your friends. So obviously you need to put in the work. You need to be reliable. You need to be consistent. You need to get them the outcome that they want. But I think the main factor and the main category to set you apart from the rest is how personable you are and how you can connect with the clients.
Amazing, yeah, definitely. So moving the conversation away from real estate, what makes it such a great place to live in Dubai?
Dubai it's just the quality of life's amazing. And I know you see these embarrassing things on Instagram, TikTok, like Dubai is so safe, like let's leave our car running, etc., etc. I actually did leave my car running about 5 months ago out towards the airport and went into a restaurant for 2 hours and came out and my car was just still sat there running. I think if that happens kind of anywhere else in the world, not even just the UK, I think there's quite a high chance that your car would be gone. Also, what's good about Dubai is you're surrounded by people who want to better themselves. There's not really much room for negativity. Everyone's wanting to do well. So when you're surrounded by this, I think positivity kind of breeds positivity. So you're inspired to do better.
So that's about Dubai, but what does Rhianne enjoy doing in her spare time?
Well, apart from often going on holiday, which you love.
Yeah.
I like to do Pilates. I've really got into that recently, as you know. So I do that quite a few times a week. I love going to the gym. I love being healthy. And I like going to nice hotels, sitting in the sun, going for food. Just.
So if someone's at home right now, sitting on the fence regarding moving to Dubai or even just leaving their home country and getting out into the world, what would you say to them?
I would say, what is there to lose? Home is always home. Home is always going to be there. You can always go back to your job. And I think I was actually just speaking to one of my friends about this on the phone. She's moving out here. And she was a bit worried. And I just said the exact same to her. Yeah, home is home. You can move back if you want to move back. But I feel like in life, what you regret is not things that you've done. You can cock up, you can make mistakes and they get fixed. I think what you would regret in life is the things that you've not done.
Yeah, 100%. And those jobs will still be waiting for you and nothing changes at home.
Exactly. Like I go back, I've been away for 5 years now. I go back and it's just, it's the same. Everything's still the same and nothing's going to change and it's always going to be there. So you've not really got anything to lose.
So working in real estate, you obviously said it's life changing. What is the most amount of money or incentives that you've received in a month that makes it so life changing?
I mean, I don't want to say a figure. I think that's, a bit awkward. I wouldn't like to say a figure. However, it's definitely life-changing amount of money. And as I said before, it's gave me opportunities to do things that I wouldn't have been able to do before. And incentive-wise, you are very generous with incentives. So thank you for that. My best incentives would be, we went to Thailand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Company holiday.
Company holiday to Thailand, all the top brokers from last year. So that was amazing. And then obviously yesterday, as you know, I've been so excited about it all day. I got my Chanel handbag from White & Co. So yeah, that was amazing. Thank you so much.
You don't need to thank me. You're the one that puts money on the board and it's well deserved. But amazing, Rhianne, fantastic. So now it's time to leave the people who are watching this with a little bit of wisdom from one of the top performers in the company. What's a statement that you live by?
Statements and quotes, I would say I'm not really a statement and quote type of girl. I think it's a bit cringe. However, if I had to pick one, it would be he who feared he would not succeed sat still. And this just kind of reiterates on what I was saying earlier about pushing yourself and moving away from things that you're used to and kind of accepting change. I think it's really important for your life in order to pave success.
Yeah, amazing. Well, honestly, it's hugely appreciated you coming and doing
Thank
this with me. I know
you.
how busy you are.
Thank you.
But yeah, I'm sure the viewers are going to get a lot of value out of this.
Thanks.
And I hope we can do this again in the future.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank
Thanks.
you.